Somewhere between the ages of 17 and 25, your body will attempt to grow 4 extra teeth in a jaw that almost certainly does not have room for them. You did not ask for this. Nobody asked for this. They will push, they will ache, they will come in sideways, or not at all. And somewhere between 1 and 3 of them will probably need to be surgically removed. This happens to the majority of humans alive today. And the reason your body insists on doing it anyway is one of the strangest stories in the history of human evolution, because your jaw and your teeth are no longer from the same species. To understand wisdom teeth, you have to go back to before cooking existed, before agriculture, before anything that would recognize as civilization, back to when your ancestors were eating raw food. And raw food is extraordinarily hard on teeth. Uncooked meat is tough and fibrous. Raw tubers are dense and gritty. Unprocessed seeds and nuts require grinding forces that modern teeth never experience. To handle all of that, your ancestors needed large, powerful jaws with large grinding surfaces, and they needed more of them. The third molars, what we now call wisdom teeth, were not extra. They were essential. A full set of 12 molars to grind through a diet that would destroy a modern mouth in months. The jaw was built for that work. Wide, dense, heavily muscled, capable of generating bite forces that modern humans cannot come close to matching, and, crucially, large enough to accommodate all 32 teeth with room to spare. Those 32 teeth fit perfectly. They always had. Then 2 things happened, and they happened at very different speeds. The first thing was cooking. Roughly 1 million years ago, perhaps earlier, humans began consistently applying heat to food. Cooked food is softer. It requires less force to chew. It breaks down more easily. And the jaw, like any biological structure, responds to the demands placed on it. Use it hard, and it grows strong. Use it gently, and over generations it becomes smaller. This is not a slow process. Studies of populations that shifted from hard traditional diets to softer processed foods within a single generation have documented measurable jaw reduction in the children. Not over thousands of years. Within one lifetime, the jaw is remarkably responsive to mechanical demand. So, as cooking spread, jaws shrank, gradually at first, then dramatically with the advent of agriculture 10,000 years ago. Farmed grains, processed flour, cooked grains, all dramatically softer than anything your pre-agricultural ancestors ate. The jaw kept getting smaller, generation by generation, century by century. And the second thing was that the teeth didn't get the message. This is the core of the wisdom tooth problem. Your jaw shrank in response to environment. Your teeth did not, because teeth are encoded differently from jaw size. Jaw development is heavily influenced by mechanical stimulus during childhood, how hard you chew while your bones are still forming. Tooth number and size are encoded much more rigidly in your gene. They don't respond to what you eat. They respond to instructions written into your DNA long before you were born. Your genome still carries the instruction to build 32 teeth, including 4 third molars. It has always carried that instruction. It carried it when your ancestors needed all 32. And it carries it now, when your jaw, shaped by a lifetime of soft food and modern childhood diet, has room for 28 at most, often fewer. The result is architectural. You are trying to fit 32 teeth into a space built for 28. Something has to give. Usually, it's the wisdom teeth. They come in last, find no space, and either stay impacted in the jaw or push everything else out of alignment as they try to emerge. I find something genuinely absurd about that. Your body following ancient instructions with complete faithfulness. Building all 32 teeth, exactly as specified, in a jaw that the modern world made too small to hold them. But here is what makes this stranger than it first appears. In 2013, researchers studying pre-agricultural human skulls found something that reframed the entire picture. In skulls from humans who lived before farming, people who ate hard raw or minimally processed food their entire lives, wisdom teeth came in perfectly straight. They fit neatly into the jaw without crowding, without impaction, without any of the problems that send 5 million people to oral surgeons every year. The teeth had not changed. The jaw had. Not through evolution, not through genetic mutation, through development. Those ancient humans grew up chewing hard food from infancy. Hard food demands more of the jaw during the critical developmental windows when bone is still forming. The jaw develops wider, longer, more capable, and when wisdom teeth arrive in their late teens, there is room for them. The modern human jaw is not evolutionary. It is developmental. It is the product of a childhood spent eating soft food, pureed baby food, processed grains, cooked everything, during the exact windows when mechanical stimulus would have built a bigger jaw. We didn't evolve smaller jaws. We grew smaller jaws, and our genes never got the update. This is the part I find most troubling. The problem is not in your DNA. The problem is in your childhood. You had the genetic capacity for a jaw large enough to fit all 32 teeth. The instructions were there, the developmental windows were there, they just never received the stimulus they were waiting for. This raises an obvious question. Why hasn't evolution simply removed the wisdom teeth? The honest answer is that it is trying to, just very slowly. In populations that have eaten soft processed diets for many generations, the rate of people born with congenitally missing wisdom teeth has been increasing. In some East Asian populations, where soft diets have been common for longer periods, rates of congenitally absent third molars now approach 35%. The evolutionary pressure is real. The selection is happening. But evolution works on timescales of thousands of generations. Meaningful genetic change takes tens of thousands of years at minimum. Agriculture has existed for only about 10,000 years. In evolutionary terms, we switched diets yesterday. The genome simply has not had time to catch up with the change in environment. You are living in the gap between a dietary transition that happened in geological seconds and a genome that updates in geological centuries. There is a third layer to this, and it gets stranger still. The wisdom teeth themselves are not the only casualty of this mismatch. Jaw shrinkage has produced an entire suite of problems that your pre-agricultural ancestors simply did not have. Crooked teeth, overbites, underbites, sleep apnea linked to narrower airways produced by narrower jaws. The modern orthodontics industry, braces, retainers, expanders, aligners, exists almost entirely because human jaw development has been disrupted by the shift to soft modern diets. Every pair of braces is a direct consequence of the same mismatch that causes wisdom tooth impaction. A genome writing instructions for a jaw it no longer builds. A development process that was calibrated for a mechanical environment that no longer exists. I think about this every time I see a child wearing braces. Their teeth are not wrong. Their jaw is not wrong. The instructions are just being run in an environment they were never written for. So what do you do with all of this? Some researchers have proposed that targeted mechanical stimulation during childhood jaw development, harder foods earlier, less processed diet during critical developmental windows could produce measurably larger jaws and reduce the prevalence of wisdom, tooth impaction, and orthodontic problems without any genetic change at all. The capacity is already there. The genome already contains the instructions for a wider jaw. It just needs the right stimulus during the right window. Other researchers argue that the window has already closed for most modern humans, that the relevant developmental periods are early enough that any intervention would need to start in infancy, and that in the absence of such intervention, removal remains the most straightforward solution to a problem that is ultimately not going anywhere on a human timescale. Both of these things can be true simultaneously. The solution might exist in developmental biology, and that solution might arrive too late for anyone alive right now. Somewhere between the ages of 17 and 25, your body will build those 4 teeth, faithfully, exactly as specified, following instructions written into your genome for a jaw that your ancestors had and you do not. It will not know that the jaw changed. It will not know that cooking happened, that agriculture happened, that a lifetime of soft food narrowed the space it was building into. It will just build the teeth, as it always has, as it was designed to. And then you will go to a dentist who will look at an X-ray of your perfectly formed wisdom teeth, pressing sideways into your perfectly formed other teeth and say, yes, those need to come out, because your jaw and your teeth are no longer from the same world.